Hey guys, recording this here on what is it, Friday the 19th. Maybe you're seeing this on Monday at the latest, but want to let you know we are almost sold out for Founder 500 in Austin, Texas here in about a week. It's going to be an amazing event, 500 B2B SaaS founders. I'm looking at the attendee list. There's almost 60 founders with more than 7 million bucks in ARR. It's an incredible group. There's over 100, over 150 with more than a million revenue. It's an incredible group. You don't want to miss it. Grab your hotel, grab your flight, grab a ticket right now. I'll put the link in the bio, in the description here on YouTube. And I think there's only about 3 tickets left. Okay, about 3 tickets left. I'd love to see you guys there. Don't be bashful. Grab your ticket now. Hey folks, my guest today is Andy Volpini. He is the CEO and founder of wordlift.io, which is helping everyone with automating their SEO. Andy, you ready to take us to the top?
Totally. Ready.
All right. So this is a very competitive space, SaaS tools to help with SEO. What's your unique spin? What do customers pay you for?
We build knowledge graphs. That's the reason people come to us. And then using this knowledge graph, we can automate SEO at various levels. And that's pretty unique. I mean, we help you create your own knowledge graph, much like Google does. And these interacts with Google at some point so that you will enter into Google Knowledge Graph more easily and also reuse the knowledge graph for other, SEO or digital marketing tasks.
Why is the knowledge graph important? And can you give me an example of what that might look like for a company?
So when you build a knowledge graph, you have these flexible data structure that Google can read. And by using these data structure, you can also build other services like, generating your product description or generating, the description for the startup that you work with within the SaaS space. So a knowledge graph is kind of a starting point for your AI strategy, but it's also important for Google because it represents a new sitemap in terms of, what are the concepts that matter for the business? How do we index them? What is the data, behind the website? And that's way more important as we progress from, traditional SEO into modern SEO.
And what I love about you guys, you came on the show back in April of last year. You had I don't know if you remember this, you had just broken $1 million run rate. You remember that?
That's correct.
And most importantly, you told me you and your partner still owned more than 80% of the business, which is great, right?
We still do.
That's amazing. And you told me not only that, you're in control, you passed $1 million in revenue. You guys are also very profitable. You told me on $85,000 a month in revenue, you took about $20,000 that month, about a year and a half ago to the bottom line, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have around 28% profit in this quarter. If I look at Q2,
that's incredible.
Yeah, but we raised money in between.
Did. Oh, you did. Okay, so tell me about that. How much did you decide? Because you also told me that you declined an M&A offer for $5 million.
Right.
So did you end up raising?
So we decided to raise a little bit of capital, and we closed the deal beginning of this year, 800,000 euros, and we still have more than 80% of the share. So we still are pretty much where we were, but we kind of rearranged the cap table, and we have more money to invest for growing the sales and the marketing team and also the technology.
And what? I mean, are you talking like a 10 million valuation, or what valuation did you raise that at?
No, a lot less than that. I mean, it was a little bit more than 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically the same as the M&A offer that you got.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much the same, but I keep the control and I can grow the company and kind of bring the numbers up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So raising 800 against 5.5 million valuation, you guys decide to sell about 15% of the cap table, the equity to the investor.
Pretty much, yeah.
And why do that? You were so profitable and you were growing so quick.
Because you need to have more cash available and in order to grow, because of course the customer acquisition cost is still quite low compared to the lifetime value, and so we need to invest more in acquiring client and also acquiring talent, because as you said, it's a very competitive space, so we need to have resources for kind of getting the best team that we want.
Yep. Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. What is your CAC today?
I mean, if we look at the cohort of the average user getting a subscription for us, we're talking about 180, 200 euro for an acquisition. But then if you look at the enterprise client that runs 70% of our revenues, then the cost per acquisition is higher. And in that case, it's also high touch. So we need the resources.
Well, what's your range? Don't name the customer, obviously, but what's your biggest customer pay you per year today?
Oh boy, I think in the range. I mean, it's like
or monthly.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at yearly, the biggest client would probably give us maybe 300,000 euros per year. Could be more this year, but that's kind of the.
And why is it so much? Is it because they're tracking like so many keywords, or what's the utility base? Like, what's the metric?
So the utility base is really the number of URLs. So number of sites per URLs, and we have to build basically a data set on all these URLs, and then we have to enhance the URLs and bring business value that it's at least 5 times what they spend with us. Yeah, and that's what we're looking at.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. So that's your biggest customer, but what does your average customer pay you per month, would you say?
So the lifetime value, it's around 1,300 euro, and this is the payback period will be something between 25 and 26 months.
25 on $180 spend on CAC.
On a lifetime value that it's around 1,300, 1,400 euros lifetime.
Yeah, and then you said your payback was 25 months.
Yeah, I mean the time that he stays with us on average.
Not the payback period, just the total lifetime.
Yeah, sorry, the total lifetime period. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
the payback. The payback. It's a few months. Basically 1.5 months on average.
Yeah. So your average customers are paying something like $130 a month. You spend $200 to get them, so they pay back in 1.5 months.
Yeah, something like that. something like that.
Interesting.
Is it good?
And what is that plan? If someone signs up to you today for $130, how many sites are they probably tracking and using you for?
They can build a graph for between 3 to 10 website, depending on the number of content types that they need to cover. So we scale also by content type. So by looking at the site, if you just have to deal with products, is one thing. If you have to deal with products and podcasts, then it's of course more expensive. But let's say
Yep.
between 3 and 10 websites.
I see. I see. And when you came on about a year and a half ago, this was about 18 months ago, you said you had just passed, I think, 705 customers. How many customers do you have today?
Right. So we have more than 1,000 clients at the moment, and today the active subscription are 1,166.
Wow, 1,000. Okay, so talk to us about that growth. How did you sign up 400 new customers over the past 16 months?
Yeah. It's really a combination of activities. Inbound is working terrifically well. Of course, I mean everything that comes from SEO and any initiatives that we do on the inbound marketing is working very well as usual. We've done participating at the Next Web. We're partnered with the Next Web, so we usually also get some good generation from events. So I would say inbound and events, and we're starting to kind of look at how we can increase the advertising to get more clients.
Well, this is incredible growth, right? You're doing 88,000 a month a year ago. Now you're doing almost double that. So 100% year over year growth, very capital efficient. You've raised way less than what your total ARR is, right? To 1.8 million run rate.
Of course. Yeah, you would judge that negatively, I know, but for us it was like
I don't think it's negative. Andy, no, I don't think it's negative. I only think it's negative if the ratio between ARR and what you've raised is out of whack. If you raised 10 million bucks and spent it all to build $1 million a year business, that's terrible.
Of
you
course.
didn't do that.
Yeah. Also, we were growing the business quite fast, so I'm quite happy about that. Of course, we are not leveraging on the capital that we raised at the moment as much as we should, because of course the hiring process it's strategic and it's slow, and that's kind of
so you still have like 700 grand, 800,000 in the bank, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. What is your team size today? How many people full time?
So we have basically around 20 people. 13 are kind of the core employees, and then we have other 7-8 freelancer that work with us full time.
What do they do?
So we basically have 7 in tech, and then we have 6 that are looking at client success. Meaning that kind of they assist the client and help them grow and do some activities on top of the license, and then we have of course 5 sales. Should be 7 already, but we still have 5, and then we have a couple doing marketing.
Okay, so you have more. Well, that's your whole team then. You just gave me the breakdown of the full 20 team. Yeah. Sorry, the 7 to 8 freelancers. What do they do?
Pretty much distributed among these different functions. It's not that we are kind of consolidating. It depends on also, we're globally based, and the team is remote in most cases. So depending on the skills.
Yep, very interesting. Okay, so good. That's five new hires since the last time we chatted, which is great.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Where are you based right now?
Now I'm on the beach, but I'm but I'm usually in Rome.
In Rome. So let me ask you a question. You guys were doing, when you raised 800,000 recently, about 1.5, 1.6 million run rate revenue. Why didn't you, to save that 15% equity that you sold, why didn't you guys consider debt?
Because it's a combination of factors. That we can easily get debt at the moment. If I go to a bank, I can get a good deal, and banks actually are looking for us because we bring money in the bank. So, but it's not just about, as you know, it's not just about the cash. It's also about the network and kind of structuring things. So there is more than just the cash. If it's just cash, you go to the bank, you get a good deal. If you're profitable, you will not spend much. In any case, the cost of money hasn't been high. Now it's of course rising back, but hasn't been high. So that is of course an option, but I always used that in the past, but I think it's also about system.
Yeah. So who was that it sounds like it was a very strategic investor. Who was it?
It's Primo Venture. They're quite well known in the Italian landscape, and kind of they can bring us forward, I think, along our journey while we're here.
Yeah. And what's the top thing you think they can help you with?
Good question. Connections, structure, because of course, in order to scale I've been bootstrapping most of my businesses, so I know how to do it. But if I have to create a company that it's worth 10 or maybe hundreds $1,000,000, what is the strategy there? And I need an advice on that. And and how should I shape the structure? Because I'm always looking at high profitability, but I might lose the focus on what is the overall business value, and I need help for that.
Yeah. So when you say help with business structure, do you mean literally your org chart or just the structure of the business? How much to burn? How much to invest?
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, the org chart is an important aspect. For instance, I would, I rather try to do everything myself and control everything, because that's the typical founder, the typical bootstrapper. But then in reality, that doesn't scale. I mean, if you have to move from 1,000 clients to 10,000 clients, what do you need? And you need that kind of help, I think.
Yep. No, that makes a ton of sense. I'm asking these questions because I love learning from founders like you. I think it's great what you've built.
But that's the work that you do. I mean, depending on the fact that you don't just lend the money to the company. I assume that the advantage is that you can also help me grow, and that's what I value a lot out of your approach.
I mean, we're at so I'm struggling with this a little bit at Founder Path, because I think we add way more value than most VCs. Right. So like, for example, for you, like coming on, and I'm not trying to like sell you right now. I'm just using it as an example. Right. But
no,
if we work with a company. Yeah. But if we use let's say we gave you $1 million in debt. And so instead of 800,000, you keep 15% equity. The next thing that I would do is I would sign up personally for Founder Path as a customer for WordLift. I would use it. I would record myself using it. I would then email it out to my list of 80,000 SaaS founders and say, I love WordLift, and you'll get signups and customers. Now, I know that's like a very tactical, direct ROI driven thing, but I just think that's more value than what even most VCs add.
Right. That's why it took me a while to find the right VC, because I want something, someone that was on the field, and we set up the first contract with the biggest insurance in Italy because of them, because they have this more tactical approach, which is not common in the VC world. So I don't really understand the point.
Yeah, and now, look, all VCs aren't bad.
Do I want to have a debt, or do I want to have less equity? If I have control, I don't know if I want to have debt, because personally, I'm kind of against that, even though I know that the business is solid. And
tell me why. I want to know why.
It's just a mentality. It's just a mentality, I don't want to have to deal with debts. I just want to, I rather prefer to leave something on the table than dealing with debt. But it's a mentality issue. It's a limit if you want, because I mean.
But try and dig deeper there. So when you say don't deal, when you say don't deal with debt, it sounds like you've had an experience in the past that was a bad one with debt. So what do you mean by deal with?
Yeah, I mean, give an example. When I was running an agency many years ago, and the company was doing well, and we were doing, I don't know, maybe 5 million revenues at that point, but we still had maybe 2 million debts with banks, because they were money were coming in, we were getting them, and payment terms were kind of different from a SaaS, because in an agency you do consultancy, you do the project, maybe the client is not happy, maybe we'll pay you today, maybe tomorrow, maybe we'll not. And so we, as we were growing, we kind of had these, growing, and that was kind of a bad experience for me in the past, that kind of made a big difference, because at a point I decided not to take any debts, and to, and that's but it's a limited personal experience.
Yeah. No, I think that's really helpful to learn from. I mean, look, I think you're going to go build $100 million plus company. So the 15%, I think bigger than that maybe. So the 15% equity you sold, is going to be worth more than $15 million, I think, very quickly. And so we're always trying to think at Founder Path, how do we just make it easy to deal with? So no board, no covenants, no warrants, get money overnight. Sure. So I'll win you. You give me 12 months, Andy, I'll win you over. I promise. Okay.
I love that. I love that. I like that. I know that. I mean, in order to make also kind of moving from Europe to the US, will definitely need some different kind of help.
Yeah, that's
Than
the
what
number. That's a huge use case. People don't know this. We just raised 145 million. We've already deployed 60 million, and of the 60
oh,
million we've
wow.
deployed, yeah, 60% of that, 60%, is non-US.
Yeah, because I mean, I see a lot of value there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I think that
Yep.
you should look a lot at companies outside of the US.
Yeah, you're an exact great use case, right? It's
Yeah,
like a company like you that maybe you want to expand to the US. Well, take money from
yeah.
FounderPath, expand to US, but we'll see what happens. I don't want to turn this into a sales pitch, but I'm just thrilled for what you've built.
I
You've
love
done it
that.
capital efficiently. It's incredible. So, if people want to check it out again, guys, check out wordlift.io. That's the URL. Give Andy some love for being so transparent on the show. Andy, though, in the meantime, let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, favorite book.
Oh boy, I'm reading Carl Vonnegut. I love him. I mean, I forgot how much I love him.
Who is
And
it?
Carl Vonnegut.
Cart Vonnegut. What's the
Vonnegut.
book called?
It's Mattatoio 5. It's in Italian. I don't know the
Ah,
English.
okay. Italian author. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
CEO. Well, I mean, I follow many CEOs, to be honest. But yeah, who I'm looking at? I'm looking at a lot of companies within the sectors. I'm looking at people. Of course, Rand Fishkin. It's a good leader, I think, in our space because he got out of SEO, and so it's someone to look after. And
Yep.
also, is a super friendly person that I always like to listen and to read about.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building WordLift?
Ah, boy, that's interesting. We use a lot of Trello. We use a lot of Zapier. We use a lot of course, we're running all the infrastructure on Azure. This is not really a tool, but it's a cloud infrastructure. Is very important for companies like us.
Number
And
four,
yeah, go.
no, that's great. Yeah. Number four, how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
And now I'm going down to six and a half, but usually I try to reach 8.
Okay, fair enough. And are you still married with 2 kids?
Yes. I actually got a wedding a month ago.
Congrats. Yeah, I think you told me you were married, but you weren't actually, you hadn't had the ceremony yet
Yeah,
last year.
yeah,
So
we went through the celebration. Yeah.
congrats. That's very exciting. And did you have a birthday? Are you 44 now today?
My birthday is on the 10th of March, so I'm 45.
Oh, you're 45. Okay, you had 2 birthdays. Yeah, 45. Very cool. Last question here. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
The life it's easy, that once you set a goal and you have fun with what you're doing, you're gonna achieve that goal, and you don't need all the Sturm und Drang and the troubles that you go through. But it wouldn't help my 20 years old.
Guys, Andy's having fun. Wordlift.io, playing in the SEO space. Their big competitive advantage, graphs, knowledge graphs, and SEO optimization. They have over 1,166 customers today. They just broke $155,000 a month in revenue, up from $87,000 a month just a year ago. Healthy growth, 28% profit margin, which is incredible. They just raised from a strategic partner $800,000 at a $5.5 million valuation, sold 14.5% of the business. But most of that cash still in the bank today. 20 people strong on the team. Again, growing nicely without having to spend a bunch of capital, which we love. Andy, congrats, and thanks for taking us to the top.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.